Alright folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Pleasure to see you, as always. Hope we've all had a nice weekend. Back on business today. Two new tournaments, we've got Barcelona and we've got Munich. Going to be touching on day one very shortly. Before we do, like the video if you would, get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're not. I think we're 10 away, only 10 away from 900 folks. You know what to do, get yourself involved. I'd love to have you. If you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description and the pinned comment, along with the pics and the timestamps and the outrights and all that stuff. But we'll waste no time. Back down to business. Where'll be off first? Sunny old Spain. Go to Barcelona. And before we go any further, just take a minute to remind everyone, you know, those that have been on the channel for a while, you know the score by now. Those that are new, first round, folks. First round is the first round. I always say you've just got to see who wants to be here and who doesn't. You know, maybe just take it easy. Don't go crazy. Keep it sensible. Like I say, more often than not, there's a couple of upsets in these early stages. So if we can get through this relatively unscathed, I feel like that sets us up rather nicely for the rest of the week. But anyway, now that's out the way. First off, we've got Pedro Martinez, Brandon Nakashima, good old Binach. We'll just fly through the majority of these. Like I said, you can't pick any of these with much conviction at this point. You'd say Brandon Nakashima would probably get this one done, but I don't know, man. I mean, it's the same story with Martinez every week now, isn't it? We know how good he is on the clay. He's just struggling. For whatever it is, he's just struggling for either form, for fitness, you name it. Last time out, he played against Nuno Bosch in Monte Carlo. Very good game. Grueling match. I mean, kind of what I expected. He looked decent against Sonego the game before that, but as we remember in Romania, he did have to pull out fairly recently against Djere in the quarterfinals. I think Binak's played one game on the clay so far this year. Yeah. No, he hasn't. He's played one game back on the clay. And then, what am I talking about here? Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I was getting confused with the Houston tournaments. I was looking at Miami and Houston. He beat Mackenzie McDonald in Eubanks in Houston. Ended up getting beat by Tiafoe in the semis. And then he looked crap against Batista Agut in Monte Carlo. You'd have to admit that. Weren't the best performance whatsoever. 6-2, 6-4. Now I could be crazy, but I think if Batista Agut can beat you 6-2, 6-4 on the clay, I think Pedro Martinez, providing he's fit, can most definitely do the same, if not worse. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think Martinez has been well off the boil as of late, so I couldn't risk it. I couldn't. Getting Binach at 1.7, is that not a bad favourite? Played him twice before, both of them were last year, and he won both, so he's clearly capable of beating Pedro Martinez. I just wouldn't be able to trust that he can get that one done, so we'll move on to, excuse me, Roberto Carballes, Jordan Thompson. Pretty much more of the same here. Played each other once before. That was quite some time ago as well. That was 2022 over in Wimbledon. Thompson got that one done in straight sets, 6-4, 6-1, 6-1. Rather impressive fashion. I don't think he beats Carballes on the clay. I don't think you need me to tell you. I don't think Jordan Thompson's game translates to the clay that much. It never really has done, and I don't think it will at this point. If you're ever going to trust this Spaniard, it's going to be on the clay. It has to be, doesn't it? We know what we're going to get. He's more than capable of grinding out a win against Jordan Thompson. And I say grinding out like he's going to struggle. Doesn't matter how good you play against Carballes, he loves these dogfights. He does. No matter which way you want to try and give it to him here, he's more than capable of dealing with it. Last time out, he got to the semis over in Marrakesh. He got beat by Luciano Darderi. No shame in that. Darderi was fantastic over there. Say what more do you want me to say about this? What more do you want me to say about this? You just go with Carballes Spain, don't you? What's the price? 1.5. Yeah. I think it's as easy as that. I really do. Thompson's never really amounted to anything on this surface, and I don't think he's going to start doing it now. I don't. You should be okay with Carballes Spain in that one. So we'll crack on. So Matteo Arnaldi, Sebastian Corda. This is a decent one. Couldn't tell you. Could not tell you what's going to happen in this. Look, I will start just by saying this though. Matteo Arnaldi's just been beat by Richard Gasquet over in Monte Carlo. That shouldn't be happening to him. I'll just admit that should not be happening to him. I don't care what anyone says. I know it was like the farewell tour and whatever. It's a load of bollocks. You shouldn't be getting beat by Richard Gasquet if you're Matteo Arnaldi. That's just my opinion. Sebastian Corda, we've seen him a little bit more as of late, but what we've seen hasn't really been that great, to be fair. Had a decent run in Miami. He hasn't done fuck all before that, and he's done fuck all ever since. I mean, alright, he got beat by Djokovic in the quarterfinals, no shame in that. Ended up getting beat by Jiri Lehechka over in the first round in Monte Carlo, 6-3, and then a tiebreaker. That was close enough. I expected Lehechka to get that one done. I think he's well better than Corda. Who's going to win this? You could just take either one of these for a set. There's nothing to suggest either one of these is just going to cakewalk this at all. I'd probably say, Matteo Arnaldi a little bit more trustworthy on the surface as opposed to Sebastian Corda? I would. I'm not picking it with much conviction, like I said. If I hadn't watched that match against Richard Gasquet, I may have felt a little bit more confidence. You know, he has won 5 of his last 10. That's going back to Delray Beach. Sebastian Corda's won, 4 of his last 10? I say 4 of his last 10. He's barely played 10 games all season, so that's basically just his record on the year, 6-6. Says it all. I don't know. Maybe it was just a bad day for Matteo Arnaldi against Gasquet. I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. I'd say he's got more than enough to get it done against Sebastian Corda, but I don't know. I think Sebastian Corda could definitely beat Matteo Arnaldi. If Richard Gasquet can, Sebastian Corda can. Fact. So we'll crack on. We've got Hamad Medjedovic, Gio and Pechi Pericard. Wow. Medjedovic 1.4 is that? Didn't expect it. Well, I don't know what I expected in terms of the odds on this one, but that might seem a little bit too steep. Is it? I don't know. I mean, is Gio really that bad on the clay? I wouldn't have thought so. I can't say I've seen a lot of him on the surface. Well, in the past couple of years anyway, I haven't really paid much attention. He went 10-5 last year. Most of them were on like the Challenger Tour, to be fair. He did win that title over in Lyon, so he won a clay title last year. Sonego, Nishioka, Gaston, Bublik, Echeverry. That's a decent run. That's a decent title. I don't care what anyone says. Hamad Medjedovic, I think he's been probably... I don't think he won a title on the clay last year, but... No, he had a decent little run in Rome. And he's alright. He's not too bad, both of these are pretty much... I think on paper, fairly even in terms of results, apart from obviously the title win for Gio, but... Why is Medjedovic 1.4 such a massive favourite in this one? It's because Gio's just been beat by Jordan Thompson over in Monte Carlo, maybe. Maybe that speaks volumes. Maybe it was just a bad day. I don't know, I think Medjedovic's game suits the clay a little bit more than Gio, if I'm being honest, but I don't know, does it? No, a lot of uncertainty around this one, folks. I didn't even see this game, I didn't even know this was happening when I looked before, and this must have just... Medjedovic come through qualifying? He did, didn't he? That's why. It mustn't have been set. He looked decent in qualifying as well. I caught that game against Gabe Diallo. and then a decent one against Hugo Dellien too. Pechi Pericard is on a 2-game, fuck me, he is on a 3-game losing streak. Won 1 of his last 5, that was against Fabian Madison, and he ended up pulling out of that, so it weren't even a full game. Medvedev in Dubai, he beat Fabian Madison in the Indian Wells, and then he's been beat by Talon Griekspoor, and then Jordan Thompson, back-to-back games, once in Miami and in Monte Carlo on the clay. Maybe he's in a bit of bad form, I don't know. Getting whooped by Jordan Thompson in both matches there, I don't know. Not against Jordan Thompson either, but maybe Medvedev is going to beat him. 1.4 would suggest he would, but I'm not too sure. You've just got to see how Gio turns up on the day. If he's just saving him off the court, then there's not a lot you can do. You know, it's just going to be tiebreaker. But I think Medvedev may just have a couple more tricks in the bag on the surface than Gio, so I'd probably lean towards him. But I'm not picking that with much conviction whatsoever. Both of these are really good, so we'll see. And then we've got, oh my god, look at the odds on this. Got Holger Rune, Albert Ramos-Vinolas. This is the last year for Ramos-Vinolas. I was reading about that before. I'm pretty sure he's nipping it in the bud at the end of the season. Quite a career this guy's had, you know. Quite the career. 2004 he started playing tennis. How old was you when Ramos-Vinolas started playing tennis, boys? Jesus Christ. 2004. Fucking hell. That's nuts. That's nuts. You've got to hand it to him. And you know what? Pretty much every season since, hang on, is it? Don't quote me on it because my eyes are going funny. There's 1 or 2 in there, but apart from 1 or 2 seasons that have come a lot later in his career, he's been fantastic on the clay. His clay records are fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Like I said, you know, even when you think he started to tail off a little bit, alright, the calibre of opponents may have dipped as times went on, but this guy's been around the block more than enough. It's just, you know, at this point, do you stand a chance against the youth, the vitality of Holger Rune? You know, I don't know. 1.12 for Holger Rune on the decimal to get this one done. They've played each other twice before, and Ramos-Vinolas has done them both times. Admittingly, they were both back in 2021. One of them was over in Barcelona too, both of them coming on the clay. Very close games back then. I fear it may not be so close now. Massive spread. 5.5. Buy a point, 6.5. Buy a whole set for Ramos-Vinolas and you'll still get a lot better odds than what you would for Holger Rune to win this one. Look, Holger Rune's on a 3-game winner streak. He's been in a bit of a skid at the moment. Jack Draper beat him at the Indian Wells, fucked him up. Riley Opelka beat him over in Miami. And then Nuno Boys just fucking spanked him over in Monte Carlo, and then he had to pull out. I don't know. You gotta trust Holger Rune at that point. I wouldn't be taking him minus no points in straight sets. No chance would I be going anywhere near Holger Rune at that price. It'd be Ramos-Vinolas plus the points or not, and this is just going off pure vibes here. Take him plus whatever that spread is, and just hope and pray. That's your best bet, I'd say. Yeah, Holger Rune cannot be trusted, even at this price. He just can't. So we'll finish off in Barcelona with Jesper de Jong and Andrei Rublev. Once again, speaking of not being able to be trusted, fucking hell, this guy, man. This guy, look, Jesper de Jong, it's safe to say, I think we know what we're going to get from Jesper de Jong. He looked fairly good in qualifying, I will give him that. Got past Lloyd Harris, and then ended up getting past Artur Rinderknech as well. Both in straight sets, fairly decent results on paper, but it's Andrei Rublev, innit? And you have to admit, I don't care how good Jesper de Jong may or may not be playing at the moment, I don't think he's going to beat Rublev. I just don't. Even this version of Rublev, we don't know what we're going to get. We know who could turn up, but then again, it's who do you go for? What do you do? What do we do with Andrei Rublev? I know what I do, and I just don't go near him. I've stopped doing that. Pretty much, I haven't done it all season. I think I may have done it once, and then I thought maybe in Doha that was the time. This was the turning point, but it's been nothing of the sort. He's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games since winning that title, and he's won 2. One against Ben Shelton in the Ultimate Tennis Showdown, and then one against Monfils in Monte Carlo, and he looked fairly decent there until he bumped into Little Feast. You know, he bumped into Artifice, didn't he? And then fucking Artifice just wiped the floor with him. Absolutely wiped the floor with him. That can't be doing much for your confidence, if I'm being honest. I don't know. Like I said, boys, you pay your money, you take your choice. You probably go with Rublev in this, right? He's the better player. I'm sick of going on about this every week with Rublev. You do what you will with him. Do what you will. I don't know what to do with this guy anymore. I don't know what it's going to take for me to be certain that he's back. But yeah, he's nowhere near. I'm nowhere near at that point. Nowhere near at that level of trust with Andrei Rublev as of yet. So I could not be taking that one, especially at 1.3. If Jong just turns up and just springs an upset on him, you wouldn't be surprised. You know you wouldn't. So I'd approach that with severe caution. And then we'll head on over to Germany. This should be quick, this one, you know, this should be a quick one over in Germany. It is the first round after all, but first off, we've got Talon Griekspoor, Lerner, never played each other before, obviously. Getting Talon Griekspoor around 1.4, I'd probably just take that. I think Lerner looked okay. He's looked okay in qualifying for this tournament, but he's beat that Henry Squire. Beat Henry Squire in 3 sets, and then he's just beat Botta van der Sandschulp in straight sets, 6-2. 6-2, fairly decent. Decent result on paper, but we know what van der Sandschulp's about, don't we? That is so van der Sandschulp, just giving up a result like that. Especially if like Lerner, hey look, I mean, I was going to say to someone like Lerner, and I say that in regards to, you know, his clay experience, not the man or the player himself. No sample size at all, 5-5 since 2021. He's never played on the clay before. For all we know, Lerner could be one of the best clay players on the tour, and we just don't know it. We're yet to see it. I don't think he's going to get past Talon Griekspoor. I don't. Griekspoor's just all terrain, and it doesn't really matter where this guy plays. He's just going to put in a solid run pretty much anywhere on the calendar. Did get to the final over in Marrakesh before he got beat by Djere in straight sets, and then he's just been beat by Artifice in Monte Carlo. In the next tournament, he did take a set off Artifice, but just didn't have enough to get it done in the end. Should be good to go for this one. Should have had enough rest. Should be good to go for this. I would expect that Lerner, Talon Griekspoor is more than capable of beating Lerner. Like, you're gambling on the unknown. I was going to say he's more than capable of dealing with the inexperience, but I don't know. Maybe that, that poses some obstacles within itself, don't it? You don't really know what you're going to get from Lerner. Maybe there's a lot of upside. There's a lot of unknown, I'll admit that, but as far as the upside, I'm not too sure. As of right now, I would have to go with Talon Griekspoor rather than gamble on the unknown with Lerner. But we'll wait and see, and we'll crack on with Kecmanovic, Marcus Giron. Probably Kecmanovic, right? Is it? I don't know, man. I mean, Marcus Giron looked fairly decent against El Chapo, but I think El Chapo made him look 10 times better than what he was, because he faced Jack Draper in the second round over in Monaco, and he just got bullied. Quite badly bullied as well. I felt bad for him. Kecmanovic just got beat by Tiafoe over in Monte Carlo. Very close game. Could have went either way in the end. I'd probably just lean with Kecmanovic purely based on the fact that Marcus Giron has never really amounted to anything on the clay. I mean, neither's Kecmanovic, to be honest with you. I just think his game's a little bit more suited. Wow, 1.4. 1.4 for Kecmanovic. Head-to-heads to a piece. We have just seen Kecmanovic beat him in 3 sets over in Delray Beach. Never played each other on the clay. Say, it's anyone's this, innit? 1.4, that seems a little bit steep for me, but I'd have probably just went with Kecmanovic anyway. I don't touch this guy. This guy's got to be playing out of his skin before I even consider going with this guy. So pretty much the same with Marcus Giron. So I don't know. Say a lot of uncertainty. This could be as tight as all the previous games have been. Either one or both could just struggle on the clay and it could be tight, or just one of them could just turn up and get absolutely fucking beasted by the other. So I'll just sit off it. Billy Harris, is that? Billy Harris. Billy Harris, David Goffin. Played each other once before, Australian Open last year. I'm not going to go on about this one that much. I would love Billy Harris to win this game. You know me, I've got to support me boy. I would love him to win. More than capable of getting a win against David Goffin at this point, if you know, in my opinion. David Goffin's tricky, man. He's tricky, you know. He's been to the quarterfinals here. It was quite some time ago, you know, 2016, 2015, back-to-back quarterfinals. That was quite some time ago. I think that's quite frankly irrelevant today. It's the experience, innit? It's the experience. Either beating people like Billy Harris 100 times over the years. Not really much you want me to say. I mean, 1-1. Didn't even get through qualifying for Monte Carlo, so I'm not too sure. What was that? Yannick Hanfman, David Goffin got past Yannick. Don't know what happened there. I tried to say and Yannick Hanfman at the same time. He got past Yannick Hanfman in Monte Carlo and then got beat by Corrins and Mutet. Both of them were in 3 sets. Billy Harris didn't even qualify for this. He got beat by Singh in 3 sets. It would be David Goffin or absolutely not. And then we've got a few more. Got Gojo and Ben Shelton. Oh, fuck this one. This is it. Ben Shelton around 1.4. He should be beating him. He really should be beating him, but he hasn't won a game since that win against Binach. Pretty much the start of March in the Indian Wells. He's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game losing streak. Jack Draper, Wong, Rublev, Popper and Davidovich Vakina. Struggling to say the least. His opponent on the other hand looked fairly solid in qualifying, yet to drop a set. Ben Shelton's went 0-1 on the clay. Like, we've never really seen him do anything on the clay, to be honest with you. 8-4 last year, is that? Yeah. Won the title in Houston. I say never done anything, that's a bit disrespectful. He has got that Houston title. Then 4-8 the season before that. Same with his opponent. Opponent didn't even play last year, barely played. He didn't play a single game on the clay. 12-9 the year before. I don't know, man. Over a 2-1 dog for Gojo on that one. Maybe just take him on the spread. You'd expect Ben Shelton to get this one done, but he hasn't been playing that good lately, so I'm going to move on. It should be a routine win for Shelton. Same as this one, we've got Zverev and Muller. It should be a routine win for Zverev. They've played each other once before. That was in the US Open, straight set for the German in that one. He is in his home tournament, but it is the clay, and we've seen Zverev really struggle on the clay so far this year. He's went 3-3. Alexander Muller 6-5. Overall records are fairly similar as well. 14-7 for Zverev on the year, and then 14-10 for Alexander Muller. Muller's been decent, man. Muller's been fairly decent this year, man. You've got to give it to him. I think he possesses more than enough game to give Zverev some problems here. I really do. He's on a 2-game losing streak now, one to Artifice, one to Berrettini. He has won a set in both of them, but considering Zverev's barely 1.2 on the decimal to get this one done, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that's a green light to just take Muller on this spread. I really do. I'm expecting Zverev to get like halfway through this. I don't know if I don't think he's gonna win. Is he the favourite to win this tournament? He probably is, right? I don't know. Who won this last year? Was it Struff? Maybe Struff. Don't know. Don't quote me on it. Oh yeah, quarter final, round of 16, round of 16. That's the last 3 times Zverev's been over here. Alexander Muller. This is the first time he's played over in Munich too, so you know, should be exciting. You know, that could be good, could be very, very difficult for him. We don't know. I don't think it will be. He likes playing on the clay. He had a fairly decent game against Medvedev in Monte Carlo. Took a set off him. We had a feeling he'd be able to keep it somewhat close. I don't know. Look, I think if Medvedev can beat you on the clay, then Zverev should be able to beat you on the clay at home. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. You let me know what you think on that. And then we'll wrap this up dead quick with Seng and Daniel Altmaier. Now look, at first glance I'd be saying I'd be going with Daniel Altmaier around 1.5 on the decimal. That seems fine, it really does. Seng's looked alright in qualifying. He got past O'Connell and Harris. He's fairly good on the clay as well. He had a decent season last year, 35-15. He's went 7-6 this year. Daniel Altmaier, 4-2 this year, and then you don't really need me to tell you about the previous seasons. You know, he's very, very good on the surface. He loves it over here. It appears that both of them like the clay. It does. Seng's been in a bit of shit form at the moment. I mean, he's been in a bit of shit form. I mean, he was alright. I mean, what do we expect? I don't know what to expect from Seng, really. 12-12 on the year. Altmaier 14-14. It's close, isn't it? Very, very close. I don't know. Maybe Seng's just discovered a little bit of form through qualifying. Maybe he can ride it into this one. I'm not too sure. I think Daniel Altmaier is just a little bit of a step up from Billy Harris, if I'm being honest with you. Even Christopher O'Connell, he's a decent player on the hard court, but over on the clay, Daniel Altmaier should have enough to get this one done, but it shall remain to be seen. Very well then, folks. I'll be saying good night to you. You take it easy, yeah? You take care of yourselves, you take care of one another. Like and subscribe. 10 more. You know what to do. Alright then. Get your best bets, all that in the comments. Doesn't matter what sport. Get yourself involved, share with the group, don't be shy. And with that being said, until tomorrow, folks, let's go get that cash. Enjoy the first round, well, enjoy the first day. Let's go get it, yeah? Appreciate you for stopping by. I'll see you tomorrow.